people with mental illness can also be oppressed by the devil. It's not an either or. And so the thing is, what do we do in evaluating such a situation? Well, we listen to the evidence, and then we test for the presence of evil. There are a number of ways in which you do that.
Please tell me how.
It's not really difficult.
Okay.
So I'll give you...
I'd like to get to exorcism eventually. I'd like to stay on the level of infestation and oppression, if that's okay.
Sure.
So maybe like signs that are the way in which you detect for evil.
Sure. So I'll give you an example that, someone came in one time, and of course, like all I know initially is that there is a claim that the devil, that a demon is harassing person X. And so this individual came in, and he was professional, middle-aged, well-educated man, ran a successful business, and he came in stating that he had this diabolical oppression happening with him, especially at night, but certainly throughout his house, and he would get a nausea anytime he attempted to do anything spiritual. So to pick up the Bible, even to look at a holy picture, he would have this urge to throw up. Okay, so I sit down with him, and I'm talking with him. Now, I've arranged at a set time a person next door, and that he has not seen and that he is not aware of, but I've arranged at 1:52 p.m. I'm going to be with this individual, and at that point, you are going to start praying against any and every evil in him. Right? So he doesn't know this.
This is in your office, is it? Or?
This is in my office, but the person is in the next office over.
Okay.
Right? So the person I have praying. Boom. I'm watching the clock, and we're just talking about whatever. And I'm observing. And all of a sudden, is there a change in behavior? Is there an agitation? Is there a change in his mood? Does he become tense? Well, he closed his eyes and flopped over at 1:52. So bingo, we have something.
Yeah.
So there's enough evidence. There's ample evidence that there's something here that's evil. And so that that gets noted, and then we move on straight to prayer. Like, I'm going to pray over this guy now, and I'm going to test that experience. And sure enough, it went up. Now, ironically, this man is a professional. This man is well educated and so forth, but he was also schizophrenic. Okay. Right. And he had evil. So here you have these three elements here that depending on, some people, unfortunately, some non-experts who they just, well, if he didn't have a degree, well, this is an uneducated person who has a wild imagination through watching movies and so forth. Or, well, gosh, this person has all this person needs is a shrink. And and I'm sorry to admit, for the last, 60, 70 years, shrinks became God in many circles of the church, right? Like the testimony, the opinion of a psychologist, psychiatrist became everything. All problems were chalked up to dysfunctional thinking, in many circles.
Is that because many people in the church ceased believing?
I think they ceased believing in the supernatural.
That's what I mean, yeah. All right, I want to say thank you to Emmaus Academy. They've put out this brand new digital platform to help you grow in your love of sacred scripture and therefore your love of Christ. If you're like me, you know how tempting it is just to waste so much of your day on YouTube, like maybe you're doing now, or listening to political podcasts and other things. The truth is, we do often have the time to grow in our knowledge and love of Scripture. We just need a helping hand, and that's what this brand new digital learning platform is going to help you do. It has short courses on Scripture that you can take. You can learn from Dr. Scott Hahn, Dr. John Bergsma, Father Boniface Hicks, many more. I've been on this platform. I have a subscription to it, and I mean it when I say it's actually really excellent, and it'll help you love Scripture. I think a lot of us want to love Scripture, but we feel guilty that we don't love it as much as we should. Platforms like this will help you do that. So click the link in the description, stpaulcenter.com/Matt, and sign up. When you sign up, you get 2 weeks free to the entire platform. I mean, think about how many times you and I have subscribed to, say, Hulu or something else. when we could be doing something like this and growing in our love of Scripture. So again, stpaulcenter.com/Matt. Go sign up today. You get 2 weeks for free. If you don't think it's worth it after that time, cancel it. You won't be charged a cent, but I think you'll be really impressed with what you see.
They cease believing in the supernatural. Like God, well, obviously God is supernatural, but anything else,
Yeah.
it became, it's God and then just bad thinking. But you know what? If you remove everything else, none of our theology makes sense. If there is only God and humans, right, and then animals below us and whatever, but if there are no angels, no demons, none of reality makes sense. Why? Because we're in this struggle and this battle for what? God places us in a situation. If we have no supernatural enemy, then why does reality behave as if there is? Why would he allow us to have this interpretation? Why would his very word contain this? Why would his saints for 2,000 years have disseminated this reality if that weren't the case? So if all of a sudden you have an interpretation of reality of the church and of human existence that is at variance with everything that has gone before us, you need to throw out that idea. Well,
I'm wondering what other tests are. What would happen if you were to say bring an unconsecrated host before somebody possessed and a consecrated?
I would never do that.
Why not?
That it's very icky when you start playing around with hosts, pseudo hosts, and that kind of thing.
Same thing with water, holy water.
I don't need to do that.
Okay.
No, holy water would be different.
Okay.
So you have a couple glasses there on your shelf, and so one situation I remember, there was a firefighter who was allegedly possessed, and he came and he had manifested at a church down the street, and then that church, he was there with his family. His family drove him over to ours, and so I met him at the door, and I just remember he was an enormous hulking man, and I thought, gosh, if he does have a demon and he gets violent, or even if he doesn't have a demon and he gets violent, this is going to be really bad. Like there's no stopping him. And so I bring him into my office, and I sit him down at a table, and I'm just chatting with him loosely for a couple of minutes. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up? And so forth. And, what brought you here today? And tell me what happened. And so he's telling me the account. And I say, okay, just keep talking. And I go over to the shelves, and I bring over a stack of books, and I put them on the table with the spines kind of turned towards him. So I'm controlling his eyes. I know that he's going to be scanning the spines, and some of those books are going to be spiritual. They're going to be, St. John of the Cross's complete works, biography of a saint or two. But then random books like the Baltimore Orioles yearbook for 2012, how to drywall your basement. And so why am I doing that? Why do I bring those kinds of books and mix them in? Because then I'm controlling his thought as well, right? He's going to be saying, what on earth is this priest doing? And that's going to provoke even more of a curiosity for the next stack. So I'm controlling the eyes again, right? And so I keep doing that, and then I walk behind him and I go get a stack, but
he's not asking what you're doing at this point?
No, I'm just, if he does, and I just redirect him back to, say, please keep going. Please, I'm listening with full concentration. Please keep going. And so I'll have a glass half filled with water, and it looks like I just left a glass on the shelf, but it'll be holy water. And so I dip the tip of my finger in. So I just took a drop, a drop. And as I'm walking behind him, I fling it on his clothing. Right? So there is no human way he would know what just happened. He shot up out of that chair and started hissing. And I remember...
Wait, sorry, started hissing?
He started hissing. So right when I was behind him, he shot out of the chair, and he arced his head backwards so that our faces were parallel to each other.
How's that even humanly possible?
But his was upset. I don't know.
It's not.
But it gets worse. His teeth seemed to sprout a couple of, like his canine teeth. So he was hissing like a cat, and his face took on the demeanor of a cat. Now, did his teeth actually grow? I saw his teeth as fangs that were 2 inches long. Did that actually happen? No. The devil can manipulate light. he can cause an illusion. And that's what it was. But that was a sign that the devil is there. So, all right, we fulfilled, we did our due diligence. We've established that something beyond the natural is here.
Hey, thank you so much for watching. Before you go, do us a favor, leave a comment, let us know what you thought of the video, like, and subscribe.